All right, so it is January 31st, and it's the last day of my no consume for the month of January challenge to myself, and it's gone pretty good. Um, I miss books. I'm not gonna lie, I miss books. But at the same time, there are a lot of healthy positives that came out of it. Um, if you don't know me and haven't watched the first video, I decided to not consume content for the month of January. And that wasn't a huge stretch for me because I already don't consume the news. And I've been spending less and less time on social media platforms. I think I've posted to Instagram once in the last 2 years. So it's been those weren't things that kind of pulled my attention to be on in terms of consuming a lot. That being said, I doom scroll like everybody else, and so I don't keep Instagram on my phone, but it is, I can access it from the desktop. So there are times when, yeah, I would pull it up and just consume content. At the beginning of this month, I was definitely consuming too much YouTube. I was watching a lot of stuff from other creators, learning a lot. I mean, I was learning a lot, but it still was taking the place of other productive things that I could have been doing, like creating my own stuff or cleaning my house or things like that. So it's been a good month to just detox and reset for sure. I did no news, no social media sites, no TV like Netflix or whatever. I don't even own streaming services like that anymore. I did consume rugby. I'm a big rugby fan, so I subscribe to a rugby uh, channel or service, Flow Rugby. So I did watch rugby matches, and I had set myself a goal earlier in the month. Don't watch rugby while doing other things, like multitask, like actually just sit down and watch a game. I watch a game. That did not happen. Um, as usual, I have rugby playing on in the background lots of the time, and then was focused on doing other things. And then for specific matches, specific teams that I really pay attention to, I would dedicate full attention to their while they were playing. But yeah, it was a pretty, I don't know, just, like, calm month, slow month in a good way. Um, One of the other things I did was to not listen to music either, unless I was working, because when I'm working, I tend to just put headphones on, get in the zone, and go. So I did not allow myself any music just around the house, and so, yeah, it was an interesting month. It started off on paper, like, I was doing a lot more writing and journaling on paper, but as the month went on, my creative juices kinda got flowing, and I was just doing all sorts of things. I was on my computer a lot, um, writing things. I've been posting to YouTube every day. I've been like, all the ideas just started to come out of the woodwork. A couple friends were like, "Hey, I've kinda got this idea. What do you think?" And ended up helping a friend with something, and then, someone else has, "Hey, I've got this new business idea. What do you think about this, and what do you think about helping?" And so, "Okay, yeah, I'm open to that." So all of these things just started happening to the point where I started the month feeling like, "Okay, do do do. What do I do in my downtime?" And I'm ending the month today like, "Okay, I need to go outside and go for a walk because otherwise I could just stay in all day and work, 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 work." And I don't mean work on work stuff, what, work on projects and things that actually interest me and excite me. Like this morning, I spent the whole morning writing and tinkering with a new website and like things like that that actually bring me joy. So, I will say my daily walks have been a huge blessing during this time. Those kind of got me centered for the day every day, and I would come back just full of ideas for things to do. Um, Evenings were rough a little bit. Once I finished work, I would allow myself, sometimes do creative projects, but then I found myself often being like, okay, it's 7 o'clock. Like, I got no books to read. I got no music. I got no YouTube to watch. I got nothing to do. And like, I guess I'll go to bed. So I did spend a lot of the early days in the month going to bed at like 7:30, 8:30, which is not a bad thing. I think that's how we used to live back in the day, right? Like the light would go down and you'd go to bed and when wake up and start it all over. So that was nice. I definitely needed that restful time, that peaceful time. So yeah, going forward, how do I handle that? Um Surprisingly, I have not thought about it at all this month. Like, how am I gonna transition back into consuming content? Which tells me, I don't know, I've got this. I've got this. I also didn't miss it that much. There were definitely times when I would start to get sucked in, like if I open YouTube to upload one of my own videos, the screen is just there, just asking you, pulling you to watch some stuff. And there are things that I saved for later, save for later. Um, Same with Facebook. I use Facebook usually in a business capacity for client pages and stuff like that, and I rarely use it personally. But I did have a group that I needed to post in, and it was so hard to just you go and you try to do the post thing, and then you get sucked in because there's a reel and there's other thing. It's too much. So I don't miss most of the content. I don't miss most of it. But I do want to integrate some things back. I'm looking forward to YouTube. I'm looking forward to sitting down and actually dedicating time to, okay, now is my time that I'm watching YouTube and I'm learning some stuff, and then to get back off of it. I noticed that I missed reading a lot in the earlier part of the month. But again, as soon as I was creating and doing more of my own stuff, I just didn't feel as drawn to read other stuff. So I want to bring reading back in calmly, not to the point where I'd get like I was before, where I'm just like disappearing for hours into a book and neglecting the things I need to do around the house. So there's that. Um, and tomorrow, yeah, I have a full day. Probably, if, there's gonna be a lot of YouTube consumed tomorrow. I have missed some of my favorite creators, Rewilding Jude, Liam Brown, and Thomas Heaton. They've probably come out with quite a bit of stuff in the month that I've been gone, so there will be a lot of YouTube watching tomorrow. I've got a little bit of a self-care day planned and to catch up on YouTube stuff. But yeah, other than that, no, I think I'll could proceed with this balanced, a much more balanced effort. Like I want to make sure that when I am consuming, I am sitting down intentionally to consume rather than just here and there piecemeal throughout the day, grabbing my phone and distracting myself with stuff. So I think that has changed a lot in this last month. Like I already was someone who didn't have my phone near me all the time and don't like having my phone near me, and my screen time has gone way down in recent months and years. Um, but I do notice a difference with how I was able to just be like, you're not allowed to consume content. Like that is the parameter. So now being able to crack the door open a little bit and be like, okay, you're allowed to use or consume content, but only in certain um states, kind of. I think it's important for me to figure out the state that I want to be in for consuming content. Not doom scrolling, not doing it to avoid my life, not doing it because it's more fun to do this than to do the dishes, right? But to actually consume in a state of, okay, I'm looking forward to later. I've got some time scheduled. I'm going to sit down and give myself 2 hours of consuming to learn about XYZ topic or whatever. And that's hard. That's hard living alone. That's hard being neurodivergent. That's hard. Like, I can set myself a timer and then I will get up and walk across the room and turn the timer off and come sit back down and keep doing what I'm doing. Like, I just, it's hard to give myself limits and then hold to those limits. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But it's a process. It's a journey. And so maybe I'll continue to make videos around this like kind of every so often, a couple weeks, every month or so, just kind of reporting in on what I'm doing, what I'm learning, if it's working, what's not working, that sort of thing. But anyway, it's felt good. It's felt good. I highly recommend trying a month of no consuming content.